Hello, this is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13, and today we've got Philip's 2016 Subaru Outback here in the shop, and it's another episode of installing cheap Chinese radios that are customer supplied. For the record, no reputable car audio shop is ever going to install these things, so it's mostly going to be a DIY install. Thankfully, I don't really care about my reputation because it's so immaculate, but I'm going to go over this install with you very briefly and show off this product because I believe that honestly, these things are going to be the future of this industry, even though that's certainly not where I want it to go. This is the factory radio screen, which doesn't have much to offer, and this is the new larger screen, and it actually fits fairly well. You can see that it has trim panels that click right into place. The gaps and the reveals are pretty accurate, so no complaints on that front. For the record, I still have the protective plastic on this, and I'm going to leave that for the customer to remove. Now, real quickly, from an installation standpoint, these instructions are pretty much completely worthless. There are some installation videos online, but of course I'm not going to watch those because my time is money. My primary takeaway points is that this silver trim panel right here, which is on the climate control, that needs to be removed and it allows the new radio to mount in. The old radio was held in by 4 screws up above and below. Those mounting points are no longer used, so you do not transfer this bracket, but you do, however, transfer the Starlink module that's underneath this radio. The number one grievance about this radio installation was that these 2 plugs are on the bottom left of this factory radio, and on the new radio they are on the top right. When this radio is in the car, this is already a really tight cable, so in order to make that reach over there, they should have included a 1-foot extension. Of course they did not, so that turns into an issue, and the way that I solved that is by removing this little wire harness clip that holds the wire harness down here. Use your imagination spatially, because the wire harness goes up and into that, and so it allowed me to break that free and then pull it around and plug it into where it needed to go. So buyer beware, but as long as they're willing for me to do all that, then I'm totally cool with it. Now this is the stuff that we chose not to install. We are not putting a SIM card in this unit, so it's not going to have its own internet source, so I did not need to install the 4G antenna. We're not doing an externally amplified system, so I didn't need all of the extra RCAs, and this is for that SIM card in order to have it be its own internet source. It's a cool feature, but of course keep in mind that is a monthly subscription to your internet provider. Now moving on to the radio install itself. It's basically what you would expect out of a Chinese radio. It works, it starts up just fine, it is fairly quick, I'll give you that. We have radio. Now I like physical hard buttons and this one's all soft buttons. So this is the home screen, look at that, it says 1313. That's really fun because that's me. That's a good sign. The steering wheel controls did not work out of the box. However, you can see that they do work now, and that was very simple to set up in the programming. That was here in the steering wheel sync. So what I guess is technically interesting is that you could make all of the buttons do whatever you want them to, but I'm not really sure what kind of variations you'd want. Backup camera does work as intended. When you throw it into reverse, we get the backup camera. This is the factory backup camera. I haven't figured out whether or not you can change those lines or get rid of them. It has 3 USB ports that I put over here into the glove box. Supposedly this has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. However, just for testing, I put in my thumb drive with videos on it, and sure enough, we can watch videos on here. Now, this is disabled from the factory originally, so you have to go into the settings, into the deep settings, by entering into the password. I think it was 3368, and that was right here, the brake wire for video and motion. I had to turn that off. So it's good that it comes preset so that you can't do something silly, but it is also good that you can get in there and change it so that you can do something silly. There is a GPS antenna located right there, which is pretty wild because it has its own onboard hard drive based navigation system built into it, although I can't really imagine why you'd want to be using this in our modern day age of using Google Maps and whatever Apple uses for their navigation system. Being an Android radio, it has the Play Store right there, so you can download whatever apps you want. It's already got YouTube preloaded on the thing, and of course a video player so that you can select, this is currently our video. These are the current movies that are on my flash drive, and presumably this thing has its own hard drive on it too, so you could move them over to that. I don't really know why. I can't show you Android Auto because I'm currently using my phone to record this video. It does have this like full EQ setup thing, which I'm pretty sure nobody knows how to operate, so that's cool. And as per the normal with these types of radios, you do have a billion settings that you can go in there and tweak everything to your liking. Another item worth mentioning is that there is a vehicle settings thing, so there are some options, and I guess you can actually change some of them and do some things, which is kind of cool. Although I was messing around with this earlier and not all of them allowed me to change. change. Like, clearly I can't change this one, but I mean, hey, so some of it maybe will work. I don't know. This is kind of like an end user. You play around with it, but this is, I'm just the installer, right? For the record, this is the Harman Kardon audio system in this car, and it worked just fine. I've got the external microphone installed right up there near the headliner. I've heard that some people don't install that and they use that mic right there. Of course, that is not going to be recommended. So overall, it's a pretty decent radio. However, at about a $450 price point, I'm not going to lie, I would still rather go with a reputable major name brand for a car radio. You could get in a nice Sony radio doubled in, maybe even if you want to go a little frisky, get a 9500, like a 10-inch screen. This is not an uncommon car, so it has plenty of aftermarket support from aftermarket dash kits. So this thing does have some pros to it. It does have some cons. There's really no way to know what kind of audio quality we're getting out of the onboard amplifiers. Speaking from experience, I can already tell that this is a high gloss screen, so it's going to be very reflective. So unless he gets his windshield tinted here in Florida, that thing's going to have quite a glare issue. But if you're a DIY folk, I could totally understand why you'd want to do this radio. This thing took me exactly 2 hours to install. So if you're trying to keep it within a certain budget, this may be the perfect option. But if you want to go a little bit bigger on your budget, then there are better options in my opinion. Whatever, that's all. I'll talk to you later. This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. Pricing and product information is going to be in the video description. Have yourself a wonderful day. See you.